News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Welcome back to the show. Special presentation at News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB. As I told the folks that were streaming us during the break there, if you download the WSB radio app this week, you will get gavel-to-gavel coverage of the entire Ross Harris trial, also available on the stream at WSBradio.com. Real quick, we don't have much time, but WSB legal expert Ron Carlson joined us. Judge Staley behind the bench. Tell us about Judge Staley, Ron.
She's an excellent judge. She knows the law. She's a leader in judicial education. She was president of the Superior Court Judges Association. She does run a tight ship, which I think in this case is very good, Mark.
Ross, how do I know Judge Staley's name? That sounds familiar. Well, how might I have known her? From what else?
Oh, man, I've covered a bunch of trials with her, death penalty case involving a guy who killed two members of a family in Cobb County back in, I believe, the late 90s. The Wasim Baker case that made some of those network shows recently. Baker was defending himself, and boy, she was butting heads constantly with him during that trial. It was pretty entertaining. She's also been up for several higher judgeships as well, so her name's been prominently mentioned for some other positions. She's been on the bench a long time, and like Ron mentioned, I've been in her courtroom a lot, and even when she comes with dealing with the media, it's a tight ship. You don't turn your camera on in Judge Staley's courtroom until she says you can.
Real quick, Ross, the people on the ground that your sources you're talking to, is there a legitimate concern that they will not be able to seat a jury in this?
Well, I've actually talked to some fairly prominent lawyers at the courthouse today in the hallways who believe they're going to have some real difficulty with that. And again, I think it's the kind of the bar that maybe the judge and the lawyer set in this case as to how much information these folks could have absorbed about the case before they're disqualified as a juror. It's going to be interesting to see because, again, I think, and Ron Carlson will probably talk about this in the next segment, I just think the environment's changed when it comes to dealing with jurors and what they know.
Absolutely.
And what opinions they may have formed.
You hearing the same thing, Veronica, from your sources?
Yeah, same thing. I don't know where Ross and I were, but we were apparently all talking to lawyers in the hallways today. But I was talking to a couple of people, and one of them, a really seasoned defense attorney, who said, I don't think they're going to be able to find a jury. And I said, you got to be kidding me. Out of nearly 400 people, and it's just as we've said before, so many people are so consumed with this case that it seems as if a lot of people already have their opinions and, on his guilt or innocence, and it is going to be hard, not to mention the fact that, like you were saying, I was talking about the fact that I think there are going to be several people who want to get on this jury, and I said, how do you pick out the ones who are lying to you? He said, you got to look them in the eye.
Devil's advocate, Keanu Reeves, he knew who wanted to be on and who wanted to be off. Again, all my legal expertise comes from the movies. We're going to come back after news, weather, and traffic. I'm Mark Aaron. Veronica Waters in studio with me, WSB legal analyst Ron Carlson, Channel 2 Action News reporter, and Cobb County Bureau Chief Ross Cavett. We'll be right back. Special presentation of the Ross Harris trial continues on WSB.